This week's Torah portion of Tetzaveh is always pointed at as being unique, not for what it says, but what it doesn't say. It doesn't say the name of Moshe. It begins by God saying, V'ata Tetzaveh, and you, Moshe, shall give the commandment. It doesn't say, Vayedaber Hashem El Moshe Lamor, and God spoke to Moshe. V'ata Tetzaveh, you. Who's the you? The missing man, Moshe. This is the only Torah portion from the moment of his birth in Shemos until somewhere towards the end of the book of Devarim, where Moshe's name is not mentioned. Now, there are lots of explanations. This confounded or reawakened interest in Moshe. Why did God keep his name out of this Torah portion? So some say that this was done because we're going to read that after the incident of the golden calf and God and Moshe appealed to God to save the Jewish people, he said, and if not, erase me from your book. So this was God's way of erasing him from the book. Others say that it's saying Misifracha, from your book, it should be read Sefer Cha. Cha is 20. This is the 20th Torah portion. So he's removed from the book in the 20th. And it's also interesting to note that this Torah portion invariably is read during the week before or after we have the yahrzeit of Moshe, and we're reminded that he is missing. Others give a more interesting, I believe, explanation. We all know of the problems of sibling rivalry. The entire book of Bereshis was of brothers who don't get along. In Shemos, we have two brothers, Moshe and Aharon, who do get along. And in fact, Aharon was the older brother. Wouldn't he feel it's not right that Moshe is to be the leader and not me? That I'm entitled? Aharon never felt this way. Aharon felt that this was for the good of the Jewish people, and I'm going to rejoice in Moshe's elevation. In return for this, we're told that Aharon was appointed the high priest. And being that the Torah portion of the Tetzaveh tells of all of the laws that affected the priest, Moshe's name is left out to show that he, Moshe, is happy for Aaron's elevation. It's a nice short thought to consider, but I want you to consider one more thought. This is not the only place where Moshe is missing. He's also missing from the Pesach Haggadah. He's missing from the Pesach Haggadah to show that it was God who took us out of Egypt and not Moshe. But there's a book entitled Festival of Freedom, a collection of essays on Pesach and the Haggadah, based on the thoughts of the great Rabbi Joseph Soloveitchik. And in one essay, he writes, Moshe's name was eliminated from the pages of the Haggadah as if he had never existed. But we are a grateful people. We feel sorry for him on Pesach night. I remember when I was a small child, I asked why Moshe is not mentioned in the Haggadah, and all the answers my father gave me were futile. Simply, I cried. He cried because Moshe wasn't there. We analyze the Seder of Tetzaveh inside out to try and figure out why Moshe is not there. So in both cases, his absence puts the spotlight on Moshe. There's a lesson there. There was a legendary football coach at the University of Alabama named Bear Bryant. And late in his career, after his mother had died, Bell South Telephone Company asked Bear Bryant to do a TV commercial. The commercial was supposed to be very simple, just a little music and Coach Bryant saying in his tough coach's voice, "Have you called your mama today?" On the day of the filming, though, when it came time for Coach Bryant to recite his simple line, he decided to add something. He looked into the camera and said, "Have you called your mama today?" And then he added, "I sure wish I could call mine." That's how the commercial ran, and it got a huge response from audiences. There are so many things in life that we only first appreciate when we no longer have them. This is one of the ironies of life. What we have, we take for granted and don't appreciate. It's when we lose it that we really miss it. By not having his name in the Torah portion, Moshe is remembered in a beautiful way. It's a lesson for all of us to keep in mind. Shabbat Shalom.